Welcome to Read Between the Wines, where two bibliophiles discuss our love of the written word from cover to cover and cork to glass. Pour yourself a beverage and join us for this week's episode. Cheers!
Tell me all the things.
Tell me your secrets.
Tell me your book secrets.
Your books. What books do you like? What books do you read in the dark?
Which do you turn the light on for?
Honestly, all of them. I'm blind as a bat. Yes. I think my eye problems are a direct result of reading underneath the covers.
Yes. And up close. Like this. Yes. Because you won't get in trouble.
Imagine if I had a cell phone when I was a child.
Oh, no.
And was reading.
Never.
Can you imagine the light from that would be great?
Did you have the little light that you would hook on, like, it was supposed to go on your bed frame, but when you were under the covers, it had to go, like, somewhere here so it would shine?
Yeah, and I think I also had just the flashlight, the straight up old school flashlight that I just, like, stuck underneath there. And I'm like, the ability to read said book and hold said flashlight and listen for mom and dad. Right? Because it's not like I was dumb enough to think that blanket was blocking anything.
Right. But also, like, enough into your book.
Yes.
To be like, I'm submerged, but I'm listening.
Right. And
I'm balancing a flashlight on, like, shoulder and chin.
Maybe that's why we all have ADHD now.
No, we're trying to read like this.
Just the sideways, like.
Turning a page, then, oh, brutal.
I should probably start going to a chiropractor now that I think about all these things.
Yeah. Yes. So how do you like to read your books now? In what format are we reading?
Oh, God. Honestly, whenever I can get a second. Right? But I feel like that's a very parent answer. Because it's like when I
don't know her.
Right? Never met her. I think that most of the time I read in small spurts, especially when the kids are like in my face and in my space. Because I like to submerge my entire being into a book because it's a vacation.
Right.
And so I like to submerge, but I can't if everybody's awake. And then at 9-10 p.m., when I have a few minutes to myself, I'm exhausted. And now that's just a bedtime story. And I am asleep within a chapter.
Yes.
Unless I've reached that point past, like, midway, where I'm like, I could finish this. I could finish this tonight.
Now I have to.
And then it's 4 a.m.
Yes.
And we have school in 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm sorry, there's no sleep here.
And you're reliving the childhood under the covers.
Right? Even though I am an adult.
Listening for children.
The lights are on. Somebody's home. But I'm reading. So I think that's what it is. And I think I just try to read. I would love to read more. But I think that's why I set goals.
Yeah.
For each year. Every year I like set a further goal and a further goal.
To make sure.
I just want to make sure I'm still reading.
Yes.
And I go through spurts.
Yes. So are you reading different books, more than one book at a time, because of said time?
Only now. And only like this year. Right? I used to just read one, and when that one was finished, I would start a new one. Now, it's more like, I like all of these books. So I will start 3 different ones, and I'll be in the middle of 3 to 4, which is too many books. Too many books to be in the middle of, especially if they're all the same genre.
I see nothing wrong with this, though.
I mean, if they're all fiction.
Maybe a couple years ago, I would be like, yeah, God, who reads that many? But now I'm like, no, I like it. I agree.
How are you reading your books?
Same way. No children here, but definitely I love a good learning book, knowledge book, something that's going to teach me something, but those aren't books that I can just read cover to cover. I like to have a story to submerge myself in. Did I just make up that word? We're not even drinking yet and I'm making up words. Submerge myself? I feel like it's a...
We're going to go with it's a word. And if it's not, it's a word. It's a word now.
It's a word now.
It's a new word.
Cheers.
Yes, that is ice you're hearing.
That's delicious.
Because your girl didn't chill the wine before.
Because we're huge Taylor Swift fans.
Don't put that out into the world. Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say next.
Next question.
The filter cut that one.
Aw.
Yeah.
I only get 1 filter catch a day, so I don't know if I've used it yet.
Well, that was mine. Like, and I'm not even going to say it.
That's fair. We'll let it slide. I think I'm the same way with with the books that are like heavy brain books.
Yes.
Because I have to have a fiction at the same time.
Yes.
Because half the time I get bored of the brain book
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that
It's
was
too much brain.
right. I'm like that. I just want to like escape for a minute. I don't want to do work because I work and then I work and then I work. And now you want to work for Reed?
And now I have to think about more things.
Right.
And
you
I
want me
just
to be a
don't
better
want to.
person?
Right?
Come on.
Not today, Satan.
We are not better people today. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
What is that? Isn't that like Tomorrow Never Comes? Is that a movie? Is that a song? Did I make that up?
You didn't, but I'm not going to sing it to you now.
Is it a song?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's playing in my head.
Okay, well, there you go. I went totally to something 007, but I think that's...
Tomorrow Never Dies.
There it is.
Nah.
Which is definitely not what I said.
No, but same. I feel it.
Right?
I feel
I
it.
totally went 007 and went, no, that's not right. It's because I read too many books in a row, like
It's
together.
too many. Yeah, and then your stories get crossed.
Right? I got so excited because I finished a book, yesterday, right? Rake yesterday. I Scooby-Dooed that hard.
Here for it.
Right? So I got excited because I finished a book. And I was like, yes, finished a book. And then my brain went, you still have 3 more.
Right. Like, did you?
Like, are you really celebrating this?
You finished a story in your genre in all your chapters. Yeah, you're like,
Yes.
It's not really an accomplishment. Now you need to pick up another one.
Right? Now you need to pick up the other one that you also really enjoyed.
Now you just have a hole in your other 3 books.
Exactly. So I need to fill it with yet another book. But during the summer, I don't read a lot of self-help books.
I have gotten to the point that I just can't do it anymore. I've read way too many. I know too much.
I know all of the things.
I know all the things. So I don't know. I just have gotten to a point where I just want to escape.
Yeah.
I want to escape. Okay, so you're reading 4 books.
Yes.
3 now.
3 now.
What are you reading?
So I'm reading Atlas 6, which I've been trying to read forever.
Yes.
And I'm literally almost done with it. And I'm
Okay.
And I think
I can't wait to talk about
right,
this
and here's the
series.
thing. I want to finish it so bad, but I also really like it. And so I'm kind of like slow rolling it. And we'll talk on another episode, I'm sure, about the other book that I'm doing that too. The other series I'm doing that too. And we're years in. I've had a book for years that I haven't finished yet, but we'll get to that another time. Years.
Oh no.
Atlas 6 is not like that, but it's definitely one that I pick it up and I read a little bit and I'm like, oh, I love this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like, wait, you're going to be done too soon.
Yeah, don't finish too quickly. Yes.
So that's one. And then I'm reading another one, which is an ARC book, an advanced reader copy. That one has to be done by a deadline, which we've got double-digit days.
We've got
double
2
digit
weeks.
days. Yeah, we're good. We're good. End of the month. And so that one's been good so far. And then the third one is a part of the Sarah J. Maas book universe.
Yes.
So I already read ACOTAR, and I'm working on Crescent City, book 2. So
I have not read those yet.
I have them for you.
The hype scares me because I feel like and this is going to age me, but I feel like the last time a series was hyped this hard.
Don't tell me it was Harry Potter.
It was 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh! Well, Harry Potter was before 50 Shades. So
we're a little
you're
darker
good.
than Harry Potter.
Yeah, but I will tell you, 50 Shades didn't do it for me either.
Yeah, and I thought
phrasing on my part.
just didn't do
It
it.
just honestly didn't.
I needed the 51st shade. It's fine.
Right, I needed a couple shades of like rose gold before we got into the gray, I guess. I needed a little bit of that.
So I just avoid hyped books, especially when they've been hyped so hard, because I'm like, I'm gonna be let down. People are blowing this way out of proportion. There's no way a book can, well, I'm not gonna say there's no way a book can move you because that's a lie. However, when it comes that hyped, it's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard.
It is. And I did something very similar with ACOTAR because I just read it last month.
Yeah.
I want to say I just read it.
You did fly through those, though.
In a week.
Yeah.
In a week. Yeah. When I was reading 3 books, I couldn't read 3 books. I only read that series because I knew there were 5 of them.
Yeah.
So
those
far.
are massive books.
There's more.
There's more in that series?
Book 3.5 is...
It is this.
She's just wee. Apparently she's writing more of that series. So that series is not finished.
But she has several series.
Yes.
Series? Series?
Our phones are going to start talking soon. So she does. Throne of Glass, I think, is completely finished.
Okay.
Crescent City is not finished.
Okay.
And ACOTAR is not finished.
well, now I really don't want to jump in because I hate getting in the middle of a series and they're like, ha ha,
there's more.
You must wait.
Which is fair. I just don't know when the other ones are going to come out. And getting to the end of ACOTAR felt pretty complete. And so I wanted more because I liked the series, but I wasn't left like, ugh. Like I read a Nora Roberts book recently and flew through it because I was so excited to like get back into that little genre of like, this is easy. Like I remember reading like page 3 and I was like, oh, this just feels so good to be back in a place that I'm comfortable. Like I know what's going to happen. I know her formula of everything. And so I read the book and I got to the end and I was like, it's part of a series.
It's got a cliffhanger.
Right? And so it ended and then I went, okay. And I went to get the second book, which doesn't come out until November.
No.
The pain that I felt.
Yes.
I was more devastated than I should have been.
Yes.
Worse things in my life have happened and I was not that upset. Like things have happened in my life where I was like, hey, maybe you should take a break and like seek a professional to talk this through. And this was one of those where I was like, do I need to call my therapist?
I might.
I'm feeling a loss.
This feels a little heavy and I don't know how to handle it.
I'm a little sad by it. So I get it because I hate doing that. Like I don't hate many things that I hate.
But that we can say hate.
I did the same thing with what's it called? Outlander. I did it with Outlander and I sat there and I read the whole series and the last book came out and this was 2013. And if you're an Outlander fan, you totally know where I'm going with this because it was 2013 and I got that book and I read it like so painstakingly slow because I was like, I just don't want it to be over. Like this is the last book. I don't want to be, there have been like 2 more books since then. And it takes her like 4 years to write a freaking book every time, which love her writing style. I understand why it takes so long, but really, I can't.
Do you go back and reread?
No, I would love to, but no. There are so many books I have unread. I don't have a TBR pile. I have a TBR hoard.
Right.
Like
I have a TBR dungeon.
I do need a TBR dungeon. I like that.
Okay, so next question.
Wait. What are you reading?
Oh. Yeah.
We didn't get to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not just about you.
No, I have questions for you.
What am I reading? I just finished Invisible Monsters by Chuck Palahniuk. I am also reading a book on tapping.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And that's one of those brain books where I learn a little bit of the technique. I learn a little bit of the science. And then I put it away because I need an escape.
Yeah, but you also need to practice.
And you need to practice, yes. So I read a little bit of that. I am reading Becoming the Placebo.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Is that the right one? I may have mixed my words. By Joe Dispenza.
Oh, okay.
That is a heavy brain book.
Yeah, I was like, that's not an escape.
No, so that's like a couple of pages at a time. There are big science-y words.
If you're trying to escape good feelings, maybe. Like,
I mean, I'm trying to get into better feelings.
Right, but
so that's a deep one.
Multiple syllables, I am exhausted.
And it is very science-y. So there are big words. So I will reread sentences and pages because you really have to be in the right brain space. Yeah. So that one has been in process for a year.
Fair.
Like, it is a long time.
Yep, I have one I started in January.
Yeah.
And I can't actually remember the title of it. Otherwise, I would have told it to you.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember it. So, I like the cover, but I can't remember what it's called right now.
I have finished my 2. I'm looking for what's next. I'm also in the middle of the Darkest Mind series.
And I don't know that one.
I can't remember the author.
That's okay.
Alexandra Bracken. Lies. I do remember.
I knew her. I do know her.
I do know her, yes. So I'm in the middle of that one. And that is about kids with mental powers.
Oh.
And so there's something that happens. And like kids are now being born with getting all these mental powers, and the adults in charge freak out about them rising up and like send them to work camps and separate them by colors based on their like abilities,
Right.
like with red and orange being the scariest,
Ooh.
like mind control
Wait.
kind of things.
Wait, this sounds so familiar. What's the first book called?
The Darkest Minds.
Well, you said that.
And then the second one is Never Fade. And then the third one is In the Moonlight? In the Nightlight?
I don't know, but something sounds very familiar because I feel like, do they go through a process where they like are given their color, where it's like a
And the main character is like, I'm a green. I'm a
Yes!
green. Yes.
okay, so
Do
somewhere
you know this one?
I have read this or started
Okay.
it or something. This is yes, and I enjoyed it because I remember it like to the point that I was like, wait, I think I know.
Yes. So I'm on book 2.
Okay, well, I didn't know there was a book 2, so apparently I have something to reread.
I have them.
Of course you do. Perfect.
Yes. Yes. So that's
Okay.
exactly it.
I like that.
And it's hard too with series because you want to stay in the series.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, but I need something in between, like a palate cleanser.
Right.
So then I need a one-off.
Yeah, something quick.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for is my little quickie.
Well, we have we have several of those between my house, mom's house, everything else.
Yes.
We can find you a palate cleanser for like the next day and a half.
That's what I need.
it.
Just something quick.
Just
something
we have-
quick.
I'm sure I have a couple things I can think of.
Yes. We love books.
We love books, and there are books I hate.
Oh, we're going to talk
Right?
about those
And that's
too.
the thing, though. I have opinions about books. I think there are places where I'm so afraid to share my opinions because they're all over the place. But in a book world, I have very, very clear opinions.
Yes.
And I stand by them, and I'm not afraid. So it's a place where I feel like I can be confident in sharing the way that I feel. And if somebody disagrees, I'd rather hear it, and I can handle that criticism because it's like the picture I created, the experience I
Yes.
created in my mind, not somebody else's.
Well, isn't that so very true, though, when you're reading a book and you're building out the world in your mind, and then they make it into a movie, and God forbid they use somebody different, and you're like, that's not what I had in my head.
No.
So it's so cool to talk to somebody else and them be like, oh, well, here's what I got from
Yep.
that. So that's what we're here for.
Exactly. I feel like the one place they really did that well was Harry Potter and McGonagall, the teacher.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you the truth, I didn't watch all the movies. I read all the books, but I never saw all the movies. But I definitely loved that she looked exactly like the way I thought she did. And that doesn't happen very often, at all.
Okay.
Also,
Spoiler, I didn't read the books,
oh, there you go.
but I watched all the
There
movies.
you go. So between the two of us, we've got a full world
Yes.
there. That doesn't happen often for me because I think sometimes when I'm creating the world in my mind, and I don't know if this is the same for you, when I'm creating the world in my mind, if I'm reading through the narrator, like if the character is the narrator, I'm seeing through them. I'm not seeing them. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's different for me because then somebody's like, oh, this is what she looked like. And I'm like, I had no freaking clue. She didn't look like me.
Right.
But she definitely didn't have
I didn't
features.
give her any features.
No, she didn't need features. Everybody around her had features, but she
Right.
didn't. Or he.
Yep.
They didn't have a form.
Yeah.
They were just the vessel through which I experienced the story.
Right. I think I like those kinds of books less. Not where you thought that was going.
I was like, where are we headed?
I enjoy books that are written from the main character's perspective. Those worlds I feel like I can get into a little bit more, and you can fill out more of it. Whereas I feel like if it's being told from a narrator perspective, then I'm just witnessing. I'm just kind of watching. So I don't fill out the world as much.
That's fair.
Weird.
But this is something that it's not usually, you don't like walk into a bookstore. Excuse me, ma'am, sir, how do you experience your books? Like,
Right.
But I don't think we're walking in and doing that.
No.
I have the hardest time just talking to somebody who's standing next to me at like the shelf. Which I did one time. And I said, hey, have you read this one? And then she was like, I did. And also you should read it in this order. And I was like, that was very helpful. Thank you. But that was also a lot of information and I do not have a pen.
Right?
Could you wait one moment while I pull up my notes
Say
app?
that again.
One
Slower
more
this time.
I'm going to record you on voice notes. I hope you don't mind. But I'm not going to go and
No.
I'll talk to just about anybody, but I won't talk to anybody.
Right? Right.
You can approach me and talk to me and I'll talk to you all day long. But I'm not usually going to ask you a question because I don't want to insert myself in your
Right?
experience.
I don't know what you're experiencing right now.
Right. And if you're trying to make a decision and I've just completely derailed you because I asked you a question, I feel very bad. I'm sorry.
But you can ask me all the questions.
Every question, every
That's
time.
what we're here for.
That's what we're here.
All the
Discussing
questions.
and asking and sharing. And I think some of the things that we experience are going to be very similar and some are going to be very different.
Yes.
Given life experience, given just the things that we like and the things that we're, that we're into and that we kind of are drawn to. I think some of those are different, which is kind of neat.
Yes. And there are so many books.
Yes.
Like, sometimes we will overlap and sometimes we won't.
Sometimes I'll look at you and be like, I've never heard of that in my entire life.
I love that you were like, wait, I know this obscure story of which you speak.
Right, but
that's crazy.
That also means that you explained it well.
That's true.
Right? To a point
I'll take that.
Right? But to a point that I was like, hey, this is ringing some sort of faraway bell in this cobweb-addled brain.
There's a lot rattling around up there.
There's a lot in there. And that,
that is one of those stories.
That wiggle a spine on a shelf.
Yes.
My bookshelf in my brain is much more filled out than my Goodreads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget. I use Goodreads, and I'm supposed to be writing a little book report every time I read it because I am the type of person that I will read a book and I'll be like, that cover looks familiar. Might have read that book. Yep. And then I go to recommend it because I'm like, this book was great. We have to talk about this book. And then I'm like, I don't remember why I loved it so much.
Who are you?
Right? I'm like, I read you. I see you on my list. Can't for the life of me figure out why I loved you. Because it's just like I read through it, I'm immersed, and then it's gone.
And then it's gone. But I think that kind of leads us into where we go from here. And we've got a whole suite of things we're going to talk about and things we're going to share. And I don't think you and I will be bored. And I hope you all won't be bored.
It will not be boring. Absolutely not.
Given today's discussion, I think we're fine. But we look forward to continuing to kind of chat through things that are coming forward. And I think that we've also got some stuff coming up that we would like to include the community in.
Oh, we're very excited about where this all goes.
Exactly. So I think the best place to connect with us is probably our Instagram. And of course, the channel on which you are viewing / listening to this.
Hello, welcome.
Right? So make sure you hit the all of the buttons and all of the things so you don't lose us. But we are also active on our Instagram, which is wine.read.wine, aka read between the wines.
Read between the wines.
And hopefully we'll get to chat with you over there. Always open for suggestions and comments and things like that. If you agree with us, let us know. And if you don't, let us know.
Or maybe don't.
I say
it's
do
fine
it.
Too.
Just be
nice.
At least if you can't be nice, be funny. Really?
If you can't be good at it.
Well, at a wine at a time.
That's right.
We'll see you on the next one. It was great to have you join us for today's chat. If you'd like to continue the conversation, provide a recommendation, or simply say hi, pop over to Instagram at wine.read.wine. Also, if you're the review type person, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave us an honest review on your favorite podcast player. Or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next episode. Happy reading!